Hi Detox, thanks for joining. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining, looking for two. Thanks for joining, New Bride. Happy New Year, everybody. Hi. So, I wasn't planning on doing a scope today actually, but I just thought I'd do one because it's such a lovely day. I didn't want to go back home. I wanted to stay out and do some walking. So I'm in Ashiya city in Hyogo Prefecture in Japan. I hope you can hear me okay. It's a lovely day, so I wanted to go for a walk. But I might go, I could either go towards the mountain, or there's a kind of a back street down here which I quite like an old mall. It's got some really interesting small boutique places. But yeah, so I just thought I'd share my walk with you really. So my name's Rob. I run a blog called therealjapan.com. So if you don't know it, please go and check out, maybe subscribe. I've got a YouTube channel, etc. Thanks for joining, hi. So I'll go off camera for a little bit and do some strolling and maybe tell me where you want to go. Thanks for inviting followers, thanks, appreciate that. I'm going to go down here, I think. So, if you want to look it up on Google Maps, this is where we are, Hankyu Ashiya Gawa Station. Ashiya is the city, Gawa is river. So it's Ashiya River Station. People come here as and do a lot of hiking in the mountains actually, and this is the meeting point where most of them start their walk. So there's a meeting point here on the ground. These have got the signs of the zodiac around it, and this is a kind of starting and finishing point for people. A lot of people come from quite a long way around actually to come here. There's a lot of hiking trails that go up into the mountains. I have done a little bit of that, and I did a video about some of that stuff. I'm going to do some more actually, so look out for those in the future. But that's Yamate Sun Mall, that's where I'm headed. So this is like this is a hairdresser's. There's lots of little boutique places here. It's a little cafe. Most of the shops will be shut today because it's New Year's Day. A few are open. All the convenience stores, the konbini, they're all open. Thanks for the hearts. I'll just show you up here. There's a tiny little cafe or restaurant here. I think it's this one. Yeah, been there before. That's quite a good place. Just up here on the right is a Buddhist temple, which is quite nice. I'll show you that. That's the BVT Puzzle Club. So this is the Buddhist temple. I'm not sure what the name is. Thanks for joining, Jose Scoop. Thanks for joining, Joseph. Thanks for joining too, Wheeler. Thanks for the hearts. Feel free to share with friends and followers. Share on Twitter. I'm on Twitter if you want to follow me. Hi, Leah. Is that a friend of yours, Joseph? Or is that you? Is that your Twitter handle? I'm in Hyogo Prefecture. This place is a Buddhist temple. I'm in Hyogo Prefecture. I'm in a place called Ashiya city. It's about a 10-minute train ride from Kobe and about a 15-minute train ride from Osaka and about 50 minutes by train from Kyoto. Any monks there? There are, although there's not any at the moment. It says here actually that it's closed, although the side gate is open. But yes, there will be monks around. I did a scope, or video rather, not a scope, but I did a video of oh, you lived in Tokyo for 1 year, nice. Where are you from, Thomas? Yeah, I did a video last year of visiting a Shinto shrine, which is what we normally do on New Year's Eve. Tucson, ah, cool. Happy New Year to you. Yeah, again, down here there's there's a place at the back here which is like a cafe. Thanks, Japanscope, thanks. Happy New Year to you too. Hi Paul, thanks for joining. Yeah, there's like a little cafe. I don't know if it's open actually. Oh, it's closed. There's the sign that says it's closed. Like in the hearts there, you like this, you like this place, Sandia. Cafe going, yeah, I would. I've been in before. It's really nice, but it's closed, unfortunately. But look at that. It's a great looking place, isn't it? Look at that old Morinaga sign. That's well cool. This is what I love about Japan. It's full of little places like this. I'm from England, and these kind of places are just... I'm from England, and these kind of tiny little places are dying off, really. I mean, there's still loads of cafes and tea rooms and stuff, but I think Japan wins out when it comes to tiny little boutique cafes and tea rooms compared to the UK. Where are you from, Japanscope? Whereabouts do you live in Japan? Ubiquitous vending machines. Hi Peep, thanks for joining. Logan Kane, thanks for joining. Hi, Happy New Year to you. As I say, this mall, as they call it, there's loads of tiny little boutique places, and there's a place over here on the left. It's closed today, but I know the guy that runs it. It's called the Clapham Inn. It's a British style pub. Looking for another cafe? Yeah, that sounds like a good plan, Jonathan. Oh, well, that was actually part of the reason I wanted to stay out and stroll. I was hoping I might be able to find somewhere. Hi Michael, thanks for joining. Yeah, so this is the Clapham Inn. It's run by a Japanese guy. Check it out if you're ever here, or check it out online. They're on Facebook. Just look for the Clapham Inn, Ashiya. The guy who runs it used to live in the UK, where I'm from England. He lived in England for a few years, and he lived and worked in Clapham. So when he came back to Japan, he made this place, and they do English food, and we had some Christmas dinner here. I had pork, and my wife had beef Wellington. But it's really good food, and they do beers. They import a load of beers from the UK, so they have special stuff on tap. Definitely worth a visit. And here's a couple of places as well. There's a bakery down the end here. Again, a lot of these have been closed today. Restaurant, I've been here before. Loads of lovely little places. So this year is the year of the boar, and they have still got quite a lot of wild boar in the countryside around these parts. I heard about, and in Ashiya I've seen wild boar just around the corner from here actually, a few years back, but in the winter a wild boar was just walking down the storm drain, and there was a group of children having a picnic, like scouts and cubs, and yeah, just a few meters away was this they call them inoshishi. It was like a wild boar. Hi Roxy Kelly, thanks for joining. Happy New Year. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm not exactly sure, I don't know these roads in detail, but I'm going to walk towards the mountain so you've got some good views. I can get in a bit of sunshine. Thanks for the hearts, I appreciate that. Let me know what you'd like to see. More back streets and alleyways, or countryside and mountains. There's a river nearby, I can show you that. Happy New Year to everybody. Blue 20, thanks for joining. Thanks for the hearts. Hi Meatome, thanks for joining. Top of that hill, yeah. Cheers Jonathan. I'll go towards it. That hill is a mountain. It's quite a hike. I have been up there before. I don't know how far up, probably about 2/3 of the way up. Didn't take as long as I thought it might actually. There's a waterfall up there which is quite well known locally. But get a coffee first. Yeah, I'd love to get a coffee. That's just part of the reason I'm strolling around. I might be lucky, I might find somewhere. You might be able to join me for a coffee somewhere. I was hoping to find a cafe. You'll see a lot of Mercedes around here. It's quite a wealthy area. There's a guy near here who drives around in a open top white Rolls Royce. It's quite nice. Ferraris, Maseratis. I saw a Lamborghini the other day. Loads of Porsches, BMWs, and Mercedes are number one though. They're everywhere. Thanks for the hearts, I really appreciate that. I don't do a lot of scopes because I'm not in Japan all the time. I split our time between Japan and the UK, and when I'm here I'm actually working quite a lot, so I don't get the chance to sort of chill out a lot. But look at the sky, it's lovely today. Let me know where you're all from. Be interested to see where you're from. Happy New Year everybody. Thanks for the hearts, I appreciate that. I might have to resort to getting a coffee from a vending machine, Jonathan. That might be my only answer. Phoenix, cool. I've got friends in Phoenix. What do you do from Kansas? Thanks for checking in from Kansas, Jonathan. And what do I do? I'm a full-time blogger as of last year. I've got a website called therealjapan.com. If you don't know it, please check it out. But yeah, I sort of my wife's Japanese, and we split our time between. Hi Jack, thanks for joining. Happy New Year. We split our time between Japan and the UK, so we're here for another little spell into later into January, heading back to the UK for the summer. I don't like it really hot, so the summers here can get really hot and humid, which I'm not good with. I'll go back around here on the left, and then I'll head towards the river and towards the mountain, so you can see the mountain, because there's some really nice views there. I love all these little signs, these public signs. One of the things I do, which is a little bit odd, but I still do it, is everywhere I go when I'm travelling in Japan, I take pictures of the signs that they have in public to say, you know, don't let your pets foul the path, just because they're so cute. So I've got dozens of photographs. So Phoenix, yeah, I've got friends in Phoenix. Official brand, yay, thanks for joining. Akela Paluka, is that? What's it like in the future? Yeah, it's pretty much like it was in the past, actually. But yeah, just a little bit more advanced. Hi Underway, thanks for joining. We're in Japan. Ohayou gozaimasu. Ohayou gozaimasu. Yeah, actually it's afternoon here now. Actually, I should say konnichiwa. What made you want to start blogging? That's a good question, Jonathan. I was already blogging. I was doing a music blog, which you can check out if you're remotely interested in electronic or alternative music, called dsoaudio.com, and I've been doing that since 1999. And then I started, well, I was travelling in Japan for quite a few years, and friends and family and relatives and people just kept getting in touch, sort of saying, oh, have you got any tips for travelling in Japan? So I just thought, oh, okay, I'll do a blog about Japan travel then. But the sort of thing I'm interested in is I don't go to the big cities much, or if I do, I don't sort of spend much time in them. I like to go off the beaten path, places like this, and just find hidden places. That's why I call it the real Japan. I mean, yeah, just kind of the off the beaten track stuff. Yeah, and I've always written, so I've been writing and publishing since I was at school. I used to publish magazines, and I published a fantasy film fanzine for 11 years. Did some professional editing, worked in the intellectual property copyright industry for 14 years, all in the publishing side. So yeah, I've always had writing and publishing in my blood. Masterful, thanks for joining. Happy New Year to you, wherever you're from. So you all, what's the time now? I lost track of where. Some people are still just getting into the new year. Hi Kurt, thanks for joining. Let's go up here, this looks nice. Hi Scott, thanks for joining. Hi K Vinks, thanks for joining, thanks for the hearts. 8 PM in Los Angeles. Ah, yeah, of course, yeah, you're still way behind, aren't you? I don't mean that in a pejorative sense, purely in a linear time sense. Took in my eyes, thanks for joining. Happy New Year to you. No offence intended. Yeah, so I'm in Ashiya city. This place is supposed to be or it is apparently the wealthiest city in Japan, actually. Nugget, thanks for joining. If you like 911s, there's a lot of Porsches here. Keep your eyes open, you'll probably see some. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for coming in. Happy New Year to you. Let me know where you're checking in from, folks. Be interested to know. Not far from here, actually, just up ahead and on the right. People friendly, yeah. I mean, generally, I'd say absolutely they're friendly, and I'd say they go out of their way to be friendly and helpful. I don't speak much Japanese, so you know, I can attest to their goodwill in terms of giving you help and assistance whenever you need it, and they're very patient as well, which is a good quality to have. Yeah, I mean, if you've never been to Japan, I absolutely recommend it. Oh, here you go. I can do a selfie while I'm... There's me in the mirror. Yeah, you can probably hear the crows from time to time in the background. I love those crows. Yeah, the river's just up here. I'll show you the river, which flows all the way down from this. So it's basically a man-made storm drain, but it changes a lot through the year. Hi, Big Mike. Thanks for joining. Happy New Year to you. So it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon here on New Year's Day in Japan. Beautiful weather where we are, as you can see. I came out, I was having a walk, and I was hoping I might be able to find a cafe so I could grab a coffee and something sweet like a donut or something, but of course, it being New Year's Day, there's a lot of places closed. All the convenience stores, they're all open. But yeah, it's probably a bit of a long shot to find somewhere today. Although actually, yeah, there is a place I could think of which might be open. Okay, so not get run over. So I think this is Ashiya. Well, I'm pretty damn sure it's Ashiya. So this is the river in Ashiya. Hi Scott, thanks for joining again. Did you lose connection? Hi Daniel, thanks for joining. Happy New Year to you all. Let me know where you're from. I'm interested to know where you're from. Just up there, right in the middle of the shot, you can see that building that's kind of rectangle that's standing up. That's, I think, the only building left in Japan that's designed by the famous architect Frank Lloyd Wright. I can't show you in detail at the moment because it's undergoing renovations. It's due to be reopened next year, but I have been inside before. It's a fantastic place. If you're into Frank Lloyd Wright or modernist architecture. -5 in Nebraska, thanks. Hi Scott, thanks for letting me know where you're from. Nebraska sounds cold. It's not been that cold here. It's chilly today, but it's, you know, once you're in the sun it's lovely and warm, but that wind's a little bit cold. Yeah, so that building up there, that Frank Lloyd Wright building, that's amazing. If you're into architecture and Frank Lloyd Wright, check it out. Yeah, New Year's from Lake Tahoe. Thanks for checking in, Reno. Yeah, so they don't celebrate Christmas because obviously they're not Christian. It's just a commercial day here, like Valentine's Day. In Chicago? Oh, has he? Oh, that's interesting to know, Scott. Yeah, I'm a bit of a modernist architecture fan, so, well, I like all sorts of architecture, so I'll check that out. Yeah, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day is their big thing here in Japan. Yeah, Happy New Year to you. Thanks for checking in North Carolina. Thanks. A lot of Americans here today, getting ready for this new start of the new year, I guess. Yeah, so that's the mountain range behind Ashiya. That's the river. This is the city. And then down there, not too much further down, is the bay that goes into Osaka, so Osaka Bay. I'll do the full 360 for you and then we'll carry on our merry way. I've just thought of a place that I might be able to get a coffee actually, that might be open. Nashville, Tennessee says Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to Nashville, Tennessee. Thanks for checking in. Cool, lots of Americans today. I'm from England, but I spend part of the year here in Japan with my Japanese wife. We come back and forth. I've got a blog called therealjapan.com, so if you don't know it, please check it out. And I've got a YouTube channel and Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, all the works. Instagram, although I don't like Instagram. Hi Wilfred, thanks for joining. Hi Ethiopia, thanks for joining. Appalachian Hills. Are you presumably from America as well? Thanks for joining. Happy New Year to you. A little way up this road is a cafe which I quite like. I'm desperate for a coffee, so I'm going to try and get a coffee there. What do you think of Japanese wife? I can recommend it. Japanese, yeah, I love Japanese people. Japanese ladies as well, obviously. Lucky to have one. That's a very good question, Reno. It varies. I think it depends on the subject. I'm going to hold back a bit there. My voice is obviously a bit loud. I startled the pedestrians in front of me. Generally speaking, I'd say conservative, but in some things they're kind of a little bit more liberal, or I guess at least sort of different to how things are in the West. I mean, generally speaking, as a culture and as a nation, they're quite reserved and quiet most of the time. But then they'll, you know, they know how to let their hair down as well if they want to. Thanks for the hearts. The real original me. Welcome, the real original me. This is the real original Japan. Good to have you. Happy New Year to you. Hi Graham Burke, thanks for joining. Let me know where you're coming from, folks. Yeah, so there's a Shinto shrine up here, so this is where these people are probably going. It's a popular day to pay a visit, start of the new year. Marijuana? No. No, the drug laws in Japan are extremely strict, and yeah, you'll get in prison if you've got drugs. Yeah, so the marijuana is not available here. I mean, is it raining? No, no, that's definitely a clear blue sky and sunshine. I'm going to go this way. No marijuana. No, there's no marijuana here. I mean, obviously there's somewhere, I guess, but no, they're really strict on drugs and drug enforcement here in Japan. So that kind of thing never really happens. Really, Reno, where you're from, yeah. I mean, I'm not against it particularly, but you know, I think a lot was it Canada recently legalised it. So obviously some countries think it's not the killer drug that it once was marketed as. Yeah. Well, anything that kind of is disruptive to people's lives and society generally is obviously not a good thing. But you know, people turn to stuff, don't they, when they've got things going on in their lives, I guess. I'm going the long way round here, definitely. But if I don't go back on my tracks a little bit, or back south, I have to go a really long way round, so I'm going to go back this way. Look at its tax. Yeah. I mean, that's a common one, isn't it? I mean, this is what a lot of people that, you know, want to legalise harder drugs are saying. You know, legalise it, get some tax off of it. You know, like, you know, where they prohibited alcohol, didn't they, many years ago? But they legalised that, and they certainly get a lot of tax off of that. Paolo Glue, thanks for joining. Letting Guru, sorry I didn't get your name right there. Thanks for joining. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year, everyone. Let me know where you're tuning in from. We're on in Ashiya City in Hyogo Prefecture in Japan on New Year's Day. Right, okay, I've got my bearings again. I know where I am. SoCal, cool. Whereabouts? Which city are you in? There's another coffee shop which will be closed, no doubt. I've been here before, the tiny little bar. Laguna Beach. Cool. Okay, growing up in the UK, so I grew up. Sorry, just don't want to try not to get run over here. So, I grew up in the heyday of the 80s, so I was fortunate enough. I grew up on all the kind of English, new wave, new romantic, synth pop, all that sort of stuff. And when I was at school, when I was about 16, everybody at the time was in bands. So this would have been around about 83, 84, 85, around that sort of period. Yeah, there was a huge music scene. I'm from Kent in the southeast. It's about 25 miles out of London, and you go into town on a Friday night and everybody would be, there'd be several gigs to go to. This is just in a small town. Yeah, the music then was great. Absolutely loved it, and I still listen to a lot of that stuff these days. What about yourself? What music are you into? So I'm trying to, well, not trying to, I'm going towards, what I'm trying to do is find a cafe that's open so I can get some coffee. It's New Year's Day, so it's a bit of a long shot, but there is a place directly up ahead, which if it's open I'll probably go in. There's a little place there actually. Oh right, okay. The Who, yeah. Robert Plant I'm not so into, Queen I'm not so into, although my wife quite likes some of their stuff. But The Who, yeah, I like The Who. Yeah, that's a band I wouldn't mind seeing live actually. Or back in the day when they were at their peak perhaps. It's a wine bar. Yeah, let me know where you're tuning in, people. Sorry for the sniffles. It is a public holiday, yeah. I think it's through to, well, for yeah, public holidays today, but a lot of people have got like a few days off. So this is actually, there's a little, I just walked past it. It's like a pet hotel. So if you're going away and you need to like leave your pet somewhere, they can stay there. Yeah, it's super clean here. I come from England and I can't tell you how dirty that country is. And I say that with, you know, I love the country, but seriously, it's such a dirty country. The streets are terrible these days. And that's one of the things that's nice about Japan. It is just so clean. And yeah, people pick stuff up if they find stuff on the floor. I even do it now because I've been here so long. You know, if I see stuff just lying on the floor, like a can or something, I'll pick it up. It's just always so clean. But it's part of their culture, you know. Everyone seems to understand they're part of a collective. One-way road, yeah, this is one way, yeah. I think so. I think it's one way. Hi Marek, thanks for joining. Happy New Year to you. We're on a quest for a cafe that can sell me some coffee. No, I don't have dual citizenship. I just have a British passport. But I could get, because I'm married to a Japanese, I could get what's called a spouse visa. And live here permanently if I wanted to, but I like Europe a lot, so we like to travel a lot, so having a base in the UK and a base here works really well. And actually Japan is one of the countries that doesn't offer dual citizenship. You've got to either get a Japanese passport and become a Japanese citizen, or, you know, or just stick to your own native birth country. You can't have dual citizenship in Japan. This is a really nice chocolate shop, which of course is closed. But we're getting close now to, it's a place called Cafe Roku, I think it is. It's a tiny little place, but that seems to work well. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions. I don't know everything. I'm not an expert. Always be wary of anyone that tells you they're an expert. Hi, Strictly Speaking. Apologies for the train noise. I'm right next to the tracks here on the Hankyu line. There's the JR line. You'd probably have heard of the JR trains. That's a bit further, what am I thinking? South. Bullet train, no, not through here. There is a bit further north. I think some of the bullet trains go through to Kobe from Osaka. Check out this house, I love this place. I don't know if any of you know the Thunderbirds TV series from the 1970s. This reminds me of a sort of building that was in Thunderbirds. I love this kind of architecture. Yeah, it is nice, isn't it? It's really unusual. And 6 months ago, that building next to it wasn't there. That's just popped up in the last few months. Hi Marco, thanks for joining. Hi CSW, thanks for joining. Happy New Year to you all. Yeah, it's a cool place, look at that. Expensive compared to the UK. We're in Ashiya city in Japan. No, Reno. I tell you what, the UK is becoming one of the most expensive countries to live in the world. No, it's not too cold actually, it's quite mild today. Good sunshine. Japan, yeah, Japan. Disposable. No. Smell poorly. It smells fine. Well, they rebuild. They're designed to sort of be rebuilt quickly, I guess, because they have a lot of earthquakes and that sort of stuff. But Rena, going back to your question, the accommodation, property prices in the UK are just ridiculously expensive now. Honestly, I mean, a lot of people will never own a house in the UK. And I know a lot of countries don't seek to own the houses, but in the UK that's always been the way. And, you know, it's not cheap to live in the UK now at all. Not to eat out. It's much cheaper to eat out in Japan, I can tell you that for a fact. Yeah, so comparatively, I think some places like Australia and the UK, which can be really pricey, are going to be more expensive than Japan. So my sister lives in France, and Japan is a little bit like France in that nobody wants to live in the countryside and nobody wants to live in old houses. In France, English people go over there, buy an old mansion and do it up. In Japan, similar thing happens here, but a far lesser degree, obviously. And of course, if you live in an old place in the countryside and you're susceptible to earthquakes and stuff, then, you know, it's a little bit risky. So just up here on the left is Cafe Roku, the place I've been not hunting down, but deciding that's probably the best place to go. There's another place that's closed. I can smell coffee, and it's open. Hallelujah. So I think this is a perfect place on which to end my scope today. Success. Yeah, Jonathan, I don't know if you're still watching, but you'll be delighted to know that my mission was accomplished. I found somewhere. Cafe Roku. I won't scope as I go in the door, it's a bit cheeky, but yeah, thanks for joining everybody. Thanks a lot, I really appreciate that. And let's look inside. Another time, Ozark, another time. Yeah, so thanks everybody for joining us. Happy New Year to you all. No problem, Reno, anytime. And be sure to check out my blog, Reno. It's therealjapan.com. Thanks, David. Thanks for coming in, everybody. Yeah, so thanks for coming. Cheers, Reno. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Thanks, everybody. Happy New Year to you all. Have a great 2019. Hope it's good for you all. Thanks for joining me. Cheers, Messian. Thanks a lot. Cheers, everybody. Thanks. See you soon. Take care. Bye.